you guys want your questions answered on this show, use that hashtag MITCHPLEASE. You guys, I'm going to answer them on Twitter. I hit you guys up on Facebook, Instagram, any place, YouTube. You guys want your questions on the show, MITCHPLEASE, that's the way to do it. All right, this one's coming in from Chad. Got a nice little Duke symbol there. I was a Dookie growing up. JJ Redick, shout out to you. All right, best first-round draft positions in Snake PPR draft. For me, it is pick 5 or it is pick 6. Why is it pick 5 or pick 6? Well, I got the top 4 running backs, and then I got Antonio Brown. I'm guaranteed to get one of those guys. And then if I miss on one of those two, I can go with a guy like Alvin Kamara or DeAndre Hopkins, who I absolutely love in drafts. And maybe, just maybe, one of those top 4 running backs or Antonio Brown slips to me around at pick 6. So, for your question, Snake PPR draft, I like pick 5 and I like pick 6. All right, next question from Twitter. It's coming from Alex Gray at Alex Grayhole. I guess you are what you eat, right? Okay. Are stud running backs less important with 2 flex spots in a full PPR league? I'm going to say no, because I don't think anytime you can get a stud running back, it's less valuable. Anytime you're going to get a guy like Le'Veon Bell, well, guess what? Le'Veon Bell catches the ball a whole bunch. Todd Gurley, 6 receiving touchdowns last year. David Johnson was a guy who had, 20 touchdowns total, 2,118 yards in 2016. And Zeke, I get Zeke is more of a runner, but I don't know if you know this, he's got Dak Prescott's 2 longest passing touchdowns. So Zeke can run the ball and pass catch too. So do I think they are less important? No. It's a good question though, Alex, because I've actually been getting that one a lot. Okay, Twitter questions, Dunzo. Let's get into Instagram, right? So this one's coming from my dude Joseph. Who are you taking, Jerick McKinnon, Joe Mixon, or Jordan Howard? If I had to rank those guys right now, it's Jordan Howard, Jerick McKinnon, and Joe Mixon. But it's getting close because Joe Mixon looked hella good with that 24-yard touchdown catch he had in Week 1 preseason game. Good question, Joseph. Okay, the next one I got coming in from you guys is my dude Josh. Josh hits me up on Instagram a lot, so I want to give a shout out to you, Josh, right? He asked me Saquon Barkley or Zeke. Good question, and I get the hype around Saquon. I get it. I love me some Saquon Barkley. The dude is special. But this is easy for me. It is Ezekiel Elliott, because Ezekiel Elliott in 2016, look at those numbers, right? 15 touchdowns, 1,631 yards on 322 carries. Last year, I understand he was suspended, 98.3 rushing yards per game, guys. Like Todd Gurley, #1 fantasy running back, he only averaged 87 rushing yards per game. Zeke, he's going to eat this year. They're going to absolutely feed him the rock. The offensive line should be healthier. The defense, if Sean Lee can stay on the field, should be a lot better, right? And if Tyron Smith is healthy, should be a lot of opportunity for Zeke to run the ball. And I think Zeke is a legitimate chance to get 400 touches this year. There's been times in my mind where I'm like, do I put Zeke at #1 solely based on volume? Because he's going to get a whole bunch of touches. But which running back would you guys rather have this season? Type 1 for Ezekiel Elliott or type 2 for Saquon Barkley? Saquon Barkley, super talented guy who looked really good in his Week 1 preseason game. And is a guy, spoiler alert, you might hear him a little bit later on in the show. But for me, guys, it is Ezekiel Elliott. I'm typing 1. Better than Saquon Barkley. Okay, next question I got coming in for you guys. Matt Cortez with a nice little high school picture for you, boy. Damn. Okay, where's a good spot to select Evan Engram without reaching a lot? So, 2 tips here, right? 1, never reach. Don't ever reach. You don't need to reach because there's a lot of at least just depth, right? At every position. I will never go for a guy. Right now, Evan Engram is going in round 6. You don't need to take him in round 4. Don't need to take him in round 5. Don't reach. If he's not there in round 6, well, guess what? You missed. Sorry. I'm not a reacher. I don't do it. I don't chase anything. But what's a good spot to take him? I like to see if I can get him in round 6. Right now he's at 607. Or if I can maybe get him in round 7, that would be ideal for me. So, Matt, round 6, round 7, that's when I'm going to target a guy like Evan Engram. Okay, the next question. The next question I got coming up on the board from Instagram is from my dude, Adrian. And this is pretty simple. Ajayi or Derrick Henry. Now, when I look at these 2 guys, I think of the possibilities, right? So Derrick Henry's got a guy like Deion Lewis now. Kind of scares me a little bit. Then there's Ajayi. I think Ajayi, out of these 2 names, has the most upside because, well, the Eagles are a better team. But I want to know from you guys, Ajayi or Derrick Henry? Which running back would you rather have this season? Type 1 for Ajayi and type 2 for Derrick Henry. For me, right now, based on ADP, I'm going to take a guy like Ajayi because, I just think he has better upside. And I really believe that because the Eagles, I think, are a better team than the Titans. And Ajayi doesn't have a lot to work with. Like, Corey Clement I like. Darren Sproles I like. But none of those guys are Dion Lewis, who has to battle with Derrick Henry. Okay, guys, shout out to our sponsor of today's show, Tavour. If you guys want beer that you've always wanted to try, right? Beer that you've just seen in places where you're like, where the hell can I get that beer? You're going to go to Tavour.com, okay? You're going to sign up for free. That's right, for free. You're going to get $10 off your very first purchase if you use that promo code CHATSPORTS. Promo code CHATSPORTS. Remember those head-on commercials? Promo code CHATSPORTS. Apply directly to the forehead. Promo code CHATSPORTS. Okay, next one I got for you guys coming up on the board, Mitch Please, is from YouTube. This guy's from Trick Shots Gaming. Who would you pick at number 1? Also, do you think it's worth drafting Baker Mayfield? So, I'll address the Baker Mayfield. Do I think it's worth drafting Mayfield? No. Why do I say that? Because Tyrod's a starting quarterback, QB's deep, and I don't know if Baker's going to be able to make the impact that we think he's going to be able to make right away, right? So don't draft Baker. A lot of quarterbacks. Get a starter, okay? Get a guy like Dak. Get a guy like Marcus. Go back, watch one of my other segments, right? My top quarterback targets. I think that's the way to go. Okay, who would I pick at number 1, though? It's Le'Veon Bell. Why is it Le'Veon Bell? Because volume is king in fantasy football. 406 touches last year for Le'Veon Bell, and he might get more this year because the Steelers are going to run the rock. They're going to feed him because they're going to pound him into the ground because he's not coming back next year. He's averaged 21.9 fantasy points a game since entering the NFL. No running back averages more. Le'Veon Bell can catch, he can run, he can literally do it all. And when you're giving me a guy who's getting that many touches a game on a Steelers offense who's going to move the ball, like they're going to put up points. And last season, Le'Veon didn't score as many touchdowns. I get it with only 9. But like, don't be surprised if this year he averages a whole bunch more. So, a guy like Le'Veon Bell is my number 1 overall pick in fantasy football drafts this season. It's a good one, Trick. All right, next one I got coming in. Should I take Saquon in the first round? A lot of Saquon questions, and there's one, I think, pretty simple answer to that, right? Yeah, you're going to take Saquon Barkley in the first round of your fantasy football drafts. Why? Because he's just not your average running back. Like, this guy is so special, and you saw it on the very first carry of the preseason. It went for 39 yards, and he's like behind the line, he's juking around, and then just up the field. Like, that's that 4.3 speed that we see. And at Penn State, he was a monster. I mean, 18 touchdowns, 2nd overall pick in the draft. What more do you want from a guy like Barkley? Like, I've written articles on Barkley. Like, I think he's going to get 317 carries. I went back and I looked at past running backs that were taken in the top 10. Those teams then went up about 13.8% in terms of just overall rushing production. The Giants, they rushed the ball 398 times on average the last 3 years. And don't be surprised if that number's around 450 with a guy like Barkley. So, I want to know from you guys, you know my opinion. Is Saquon Barkley a first-round pick in 2018 drafts? Type 1 for yes, type 1 for no. He is right now my RB6 and 9 player overall. Okay, the last question, as I try to awkwardly pick my nose, comes in for Bray. What round and what pick should I draft a quarterback at? So, Bray, first off, thank you so much for always submitting these questions. I respect it. And I want you to go back, and I want you to type in Fantasy Football AF, and I want you to type in quarterback targets, because you're going to find on my playlist quarterbacks I think you should target and what rounds, right? So, what round should I pick a quarterback? Well, I'm going to be the last guy that picks a quarterback, but I got 5 guys that you should at least keep in mind for terms of quarterback targets, right? And the very first guy that I think that you should target in drafts is Phillip Rivers, right? He's my number 1 guy who I think you should target. Number 2 is Matt Ryan. Number 3 is Derek Carr. 4 is Prescott, and 5 is Mariota. So, if I miss on Rivers, I'll look for Ryan. If I miss on Ryan, I'll look for Carr. Miss on Carr, Prescott, miss on Prescott, go for Mariota. These are all guys who are going after QB 12. And like I said before, I want to be the last guy that drafts quarterbacks because the quarterback position is super deep this year. Shout out to Tavour. You guys can discover rare beers. Oh man, end of the show, can you tell? Like Bison Beatbox, right? Curate your own collection. You're going to be able to get a whole bunch of beers in a giant box delivered right to your door, right? You guys can be lazy. You guys can drink beer, and then you can sip on it. Send me some pics at MitchellRen365. I'll share them out. I'll give Tavour a shout out. And make sure you guys get $10 off on your very first purchase by using promo code CHATSPORTS. Get that hookup from Tavour. Tavour, thank you so much. Cheers to you guys. Fantasy football fam, that's all I got on tap for you guys today. Thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, cheers.